3 years ago, Kratos snapped the neck of the Norse god Balder. That single act of deicide triggered Fimbulwinter. This relentless 3-year freeze swallows the landscape and serves as the immediate prelude to the end of the world. The elements are taking their toll. Kratos is showing his age, his movements heavier and more weathered by the unending cold. Meanwhile, his son Atreus is stepping into his own strength, hinting at the dormant power of his true mythological identity, Loki. Their isolation is shattered by Freya. Kratos killed Balder to save her life, but she has entirely discarded that context. She is driven by sheer, unfiltered vengeance for the loss of her son, ambushing them with lethal intent. Ordinarily, Freya is cursed, unable to inflict physical harm, but Fimbulwinter has degraded the magic of the realms, weakening that curse enough for her to draw blood. Kratos and Atreus are forced to fall back, surviving only by retreating behind the magical boundary of a protective stave. The sanctuary they've built is shrinking. The violent choices of their past have boxed them into the center of an apocalypse, proving that divine consequences cannot be outrun forever. Inside that barrier, the harshness of their reality continues. Atreus sits with his dire wolf, Fenrir, watching the animal take its final breaths. It is a quiet, heavy moment that grounds Atreus in a state of deep emotional vulnerability. As the wolf passes, Atreus unconsciously recites an incantation. Without realizing it, he executes a complex piece of soul magic. The essence of the wolf detaches from its physical body and is siphoned directly into the blade of Atreus's knife, preserving the soul in an inanimate vessel. This accidental power creates a conflict of agency. Kratos demands they lay low and survive, but Atreus is now wielding a magic tied directly to his Jotnar heritage. He is no longer content to hide. He wants to understand the nature of the power he is already using. These abilities are manifesting entirely outside of Kratos' influence. It sets up an inevitable collision, a father desperate to control their circumstances, and a son demanding the right to uncover his own fate. The strain takes a psychological toll. Kratos experiences lucid dreams of his late wife, Faye. These visions expose his core terror, the absolute dread of losing his son, the only family he has left in a hostile world. That fear materializes when Kratos wakes to find Atreus missing. He tracks his son into the frozen wilderness, only to be intercepted by a massive bear known as Bjorn. The creature fights with a visceral, unhinged rage, forcing Kratos into a brutal physical confrontation. As Kratos subdues the beast, the bear's form collapses, leaving Atreus standing in place. The feral aggression Kratos just fought belonged to his own son, a direct manifestation of the shape-shifting abilities inherent to his Loki identity. Atreus didn't choose to transform. The shift was an explosive, involuntary reaction. All of his suppressed frustration, grief over Fenrir, and adolescent emotion boiled over, rewriting his physical form. Kratos tried to build a wall around his son to keep the world out and keep Atreus safe. Instead, that extreme isolation forced Atreus's true nature to manifest violently. Total suppression has only bred total chaos. The chaos attracts exactly what Kratos wanted to avoid. A violent storm signals the arrival of Thor, followed by Odin himself at their front door. The interaction instantly exposes Asgard's hierarchy. Thor is a broken, mourning father acting as muscle, while Odin directs him with casual, manipulative authority. This historical manuscript depicts Odin flanked by his two ravens, Hugin and Munin. In the game, Odin utilizes these birds exactly as the myths describe, as an omnipresent intelligence network that feeds him constant information. He already knows everything that has transpired. Odin uses this leverage to offer a tactical peace. He proposes leaving Kratos and Atreus alone if they stay out of Asgard's affairs. Kratos rejects the offer immediately. His decades of trauma with Olympus dictate that a deal with a god is always a trap. By declining the truce, Kratos essentially guarantees a catastrophic war. His deep-rooted suspicion protects them from manipulation, but it also proves that his past trauma is the primary engine driving their future into open conflict. Odin departs, unleashing Thor. As the fight begins, Thor targets Kratos psychologically, weaponizing his Greek history and demanding to see the legendary ghost of Sparta. This historical Mjolnir pendant reflects the blunt force Thor uses to kill Kratos before shocking him back to life. The spiral motifs on its base symbolize cyclical violence. Kratos breaks his restraint, landing a strike that satisfies the Thunder God's demand for blood payment. Kratos returns to the cabin, demanding the truth from his son about Odin's visit. Atreus confesses. He has been operating behind his father's back, secretly searching for Tyr, the Norse god of war who was long presumed dead. The protective bubble has burst. Passive survival has officially failed. To prevent the impending Ragnarok, Kratos and Atreus must abandon their hiding place and step directly into the crosshairs of the exact prophecies they have been desperately trying to avoid.